Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soma Sports Broadcast. I am Benny and I'm here with
Jayden,
Brandon,
Phillip, and let's get started recapping NFL Week 15. So the Eagles took on the Steelers and it was a close game in the beginning, but throughout the game the Eagles just slowly pulled away and the Eagles wound up taking this one 27-13. The Bucs took on the Chargers and after a first half shootout where the Buccaneers were down 17-10, but since that point where the Chargers were up 17-10, clicked for the Bucs and they dominated and shut out the Chargers for the rest of the game, winning 40-17. Similar thing for the Colts and Broncos game. The Colts started off playing great, looking like a winning team, going up 13-7 early. But after a bad play that resulted in a Broncos defensive go-ahead touchdown, the Broncos then go on to dominate the rest of the day, winning 31-13.
So I'm just going to recap the Bills beating the Lions. The Lions were favored to win, but the Bills came and they won 48-42. I think this game sealed Josh Allen's MVP as he had 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that was my game of the year for the season. What about you, Brendan?
All right, well, I'm recapping Dallas Cowboys against the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys won this game 30-14 on Sunday. Cooper Rush led the Dallas offense with 3 touchdown passes and a 1 touchdown catch for CeeDee Lamb, who had 116 receiving yards. Rico Dowdle achieved his career-high 149 rushing yards, contributing significantly to the Cowboys' 410 total yards of offense. Dallas on defense forced 4 turnovers and recorded 6 sacks, along with 1 strip sack in the third quarter, leading to a pivotal touchdown. Despite a late touchdown by the Panthers, Bryce Young, the Cowboys maintained control to go 6-8 with their record for this season. Not likely for the playoffs.
All right, so now on, who are we thinking is going to win the MVP this year? It's really between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So who deserves the MVP out of those two? Phillip.
So I have Josh Allen taking it. This is basically the same thing as last year. The Ravens had a pretty good 14-3 or 13-4 record last year, but Josh Allen had better stats, but Lamar won the MVP. So this year so far, the Bills are 11-3, but Lamar has better stats. But I don't think the MVP is just a one person. I think you have to actually how your team does also. I know it's called the most valuable player, but Josh Allen is carrying that team. The defense is letting up so many points. So I think Josh Allen's going to take the MVP. What about you, Benny?
All right, so I have, Josh Allen. I think it's a close race, but I think it's going to be at the end. It's going to be Josh Allen who takes it. He's just playing a bit better than Lamar Jackson. Team currently has more wins. They've beaten more impressive teams. I just think Josh Allen deserves MVP for this year. What about you, Brandon?
I think Josh Allen will be the MVP as well. I think Benny and Phillip pretty much said everything there is to say about it. Jayden, what do you think?
So I'm going to switch it up. I know that the MVP is commonly a quarterback and whatnot, but I honestly think that Saquon Barkley would take it because, I don't know, he's just been doing really, really, really good, especially on the Eagles. You know, he showed his performance really well, and I think he's up there for an option.
All right, folks, so today we're here with Coach James, and right after the Somers Tuskers varsity basketball game where they took on Tappan Z, and how do you feel about today's game?
Today was, we went up against a Tappan Z team who didn't graduate anybody from last year. So it was experience versus inexperience, but I think, we spoke about it at the end of the game where you take those losses and that's what you want to emulate one day. So it was a tough one for us on our end, scoring the ball, playing defense all over the place. We took a lot of things from it and hopefully we can get better from it moving forward.
Right. Who do you think was the best player on the court today?
It's tough to tell, But I think, our senior Phil Santor is always battling, I think, from start to finish, no matter what the score says. He's a guy that leads his team when we're struggling, when we're doing well. So I got to give him a lot of credit for playing through the final buzzer. So.
And and what do you guys think you can improve on going into the next matchup?
Yeah, a lot of things we talked about in the conference room just now. Like defensively, we got to clean up a lot of things, getting stops, getting consistent stops, but also being able to score the ball with pressure. You know, we saw a lot of pressure defense just now, and you know, it's things that we hopefully can watch on film with these guys and hopefully improve upon and get better from that going into Friday night.
And what's the team gonna do during practice that's gonna focus on those issues?
Just breaking down our sets and our offense a little bit further. Like we came in at halftime, we put in a 5-out offense, and it looked better. We just couldn't score, you know. So I think experimenting the 5-out offense for us and just flowing it a little bit better. That's something that we have to work on, and on top of it, becoming defensive minded. You know, if we could be a defensive minded team, it's a long season. We have 16 games left. Right, 0-4 sounds tough to a lot of people, but you know, 16 games you can turn around in a heartbeat. So that's our focus moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you.
I appreciate you guys and what you do, all right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so next up we are on to our NFL Week 17 and 16 predictions. Phillip, do you want to get started off?
So I have the Bills winning 35-28 against the Jets. Josh Allen's trying to secure that MVP. I think he did, but I think just keep going for those touchdowns. All going to be that matters. And the defense, I think, is going to let up a bunch of points to the Jets. So I think the Bills are going to win 35-28. And then next I have Lions Bears. I think it's going to be basically a shootout. I think it's going to be 42-24. Lions are looking to clinch that division and going against a division rival. I think they're going to win that. What about you, Brandon?
All right, I'm doing the Cowboys and Bucks game. I think the Bucks are gonna win this game 27-23, helping them towards their playoff push a little bit. And then the Chiefs, Steelers. I think the Chiefs are gonna come up just barely on top, 23-19.
And I have my first game is Lions 49ers, and this game I'm excited for. It's actually on my birthday. It's also a rematch of the last year's NFC Championship game, but I think it's gonna be the Lions who show up and dominate, as the 49ers have not been playing their best. Losing McCaffrey, the Lions, I know they just lost Montgomery, but they still got Gibbs and a great team going. I think the Lions take this one 35-20. And then we have the Bengals taking on the Broncos. This is possibly a playoff game battle. Bengals need to win this game to get back into the fight for the playoffs, and the Broncos, if they lose this one, it's going to be a tough road for them as they have to play the Chiefs. If they lose to the Chiefs Week 18, it's possible they may not make the playoffs, especially if the Bengals win out. But I think it's going to be the Bengals who takes this one over the Broncos. It's going to be a close one, defensive most of the time, but I see the Bengals taking it 23-15. And in my third game, an NFC North battle. Two great teams, and I think we're going to see a lot of offense in this game, a rematch of Week 4 when these guys took on each other, where the Vikings won 31-29, and Vikings-Packers, and I think it's going to be the Vikings who take this one again in a similar game, this time 35-32.
All right, so I have my Week 17 predictions, the Eagles versus the Cowboys. A really interesting matchup. I think the Cowboys have not had a great season, especially in comparison to the Eagles. I think they're going to take it 21-10. And then Patriots versus Chargers. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game with the Patriots losing 13 and Chargers getting 14.
Can't believe you'd pick against the Patriots.
All right, next up, we are going to predict the NFL playoffs if they started today. I'll start us off. We're starting on the AFC side. I have the Chiefs with the first seed and leaving the 4 and 5 seed Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens to play each other. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to take that game. They'll go on to play the Chiefs in the division round. Then we have the 3 seed Pittsburgh Steelers against the 6 seed Denver Broncos. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win that game, advancing them to the division round. Next up, we have the 2 seed Buffalo Bills against the 7 seed the LA Chargers. The Bills are going to win that game, bringing them to the division round against the Steelers. Going back up there, we have the Chiefs against Ravens. The Chiefs are going to win that game, I think, bringing them to the conference championship. Then we have Bills against Steelers. The Bills are going to win that game to go to the conference championship against the Chiefs, which the Bills are going to win to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl this year. I know they have some trouble beating the Chiefs in the playoffs, but I think this is the year it's going to get done. On the NFC side, we have the Detroit Lions as the 1 seed getting a bye from the wild card. bring us to LA Rams at 4 seed and the Minnesota Vikings at the 5 seed. I think the Rams are going to win that game, advancing to the division round to play the Lions. And then we have the 3 seed Buccaneers against the 6 seed Packers. The Bucs are going to win that game, going to the division round. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders. The Eagles are going to win that, bringing them to division round with the Bucs. So coming back up, Detroit Lions, Rams. The Lions are going to win that game pretty easily, I think. And then Bucs, Eagles. I think the Buccaneers are going to win there, as I do believe that the Eagles are a little bit of a pretender in the playoffs right now. But that brings us to our conference championship of Detroit Lions and Buccaneers, bringing the Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills, and leaving our Buffalo Bills as your 2024-2025 champions. I'm happy with that as a fan as well, not just making predictions. Since the Cowboys aren't in there, I think I would be rooting for the Bills this postseason as they're a New York team.
So now I'm going to be doing mine. So I'll start on the NFC side. So the Detroit Lions have the first round bye. They have the 4 seed Rams taking on the 5 seed Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to take this. I think they're an overall better team. And then next wild card, we have the Bucs taking on the Packers. I do have the Packers taking this. I think they're a pretty good team. They're just in a division with the Lions and the Vikings, so they're obviously not a higher seed. So then we have the Eagles taking on the Commanders. I have the Eagles taking this. So back into our divisional round, we have the Detroit Lions taking on the Vikings. NFC North battle. I think the Lions are going to take this. And then we have the Packers taking on the Eagles. I think I have the Eagles taking this. I don't think they could stop Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Now on to our NFC Championship. We have the Lions versus the Eagles. I have the Lions taking this. I think they are going to be in the Super Bowl on the NFC side, representing the NFC North. And then now on to our AFC side. We have the Chiefs with the number 1 seed, so they get a bye. We have the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Ravens taking this just like last year. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Denver Broncos. I don't think Bo Nix is going to win his first playoff game here, so I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out on top. And then we have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Chargers. I think this is an easy win for the Bills. So now on to our divisional round. It's the Chiefs versus the Ravens. I actually don't have the Chiefs winning this. I have the Ravens winning this game. I don't think the Chiefs are that whole of a team right now. And then we have the Steelers versus the Bills. Just like last year, I think the Bills are going to win this game. So now on to our conference championship. I have the Ravens taking on the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Bills are going to take this, moving them to the Super Bowl. And for my prediction, your 2024 Super Bowl champion will be the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so I did mine a little bit differently. I did playoff predictor. I predicted each game for the rest of the season. So I'm just going to highlight a few records before, like the teams that made the playoffs, their records. So the Bills I have finishing off at 14-3, Steelers at 12-5, Texans 10-7, Chiefs at 15-2. They get one more loss. That's division winners for the AFC. And the NFC I got Eagles finishing off at 15-2 in the East, Lions finishing off at 15-2 in the North, Bucs going 11-6, winning the South, and Rams winning the West at 11-6. Other teams that are making the playoffs are Commanders 10-7, Vikings at 14-3, the Chargers 10-7, Broncos make it 10-7, Ravens at 12-5, and just missing out on the playoffs. Bengals at 8-9, Dolphins at 8-9, and then the NFC Seahawks missed out at 9-8. Just a few to highlight. So now on to the playoffs. So wild card round, first game Bills and Broncos. I think the Bills take that one. We have the Chargers as a 6 seed, Steelers as a 3 seed. I think the Steelers win that one. It'll be a close one, but Steelers win. Ravens take on the Texans in the 4-5 game. I think the Ravens are going to take that one. Commanders take on the Eagles. I think it's going to be the Eagles that get it done there. Buccaneers take on the Packers in the 3-6 game. I think the Packers take it there. And Rams-Vikings, I think it'll be a close one rematch of the Week 7 game where the Rams won earlier this year. I think it's going to be the Vikings this time that get their revenge and take this one. Now on to the divisional round. Chiefs-Ravens, I think the Chiefs are going to take that one. Steelers-Bills, I think the Bills easily take that one. And now on to the NFC, we have the Lions and the Packers. I think the Lions, it'll be a good game, but Lions take that one. Eagles, Vikings, I think it's going to be Eagles that win that one. The Vikings, long road to the playoffs end there. And then now on to the conference championships. Chiefs, Bills. As much as I would love to see the Bills win, I think the Chiefs, they're just better in the playoffs, and I see them advancing to the Super Bowl. And Lions, Eagles, I think the Lions are going to get it done and advance to the Super Bowl. So now, Super Bowl 59, I have the Chiefs and the Lions, and I think the Detroit Lions are going to get it done and win the Super Bowl.
Now we're going to be ranking our top 10 NFL QBs based on how they've played so far. So in the top 10, barely making the top 10, I have Kirk Cousins. He's had a couple of down games, but I think he's going to come back. 9's Kyler Murray. I love the rushing upside. 8 is Justin Herbert. 7 is Sam Darnold. He's looking really good so far. 6 is our first and only rookie on the list, Jayden Daniels. 5 is Jared Goff. 4 is Baker Mayfield. 3 is Joe Burrow. 2 is Lamar Jackson. And it's very close with 1, but I think it's going to be Josh Allen. I was tempted to switch Lamar and Josh, but I think Josh is going to get the MVP this season.
So I noticed no Patrick Mahomes in there. You don't think he's worthy of the top 10?
Look, he's not that good.
Okay.
So many interceptions. It's crazy.
Yeah, so number 10, I've got Patrick Mahomes. He's led his team to a 13-1 record, but he has not played the best football. The Chiefs have just been very lucky, and I think this is his worst season so far as a quarterback, and eventually it's going to catch up to them. So I have Mahomes at 10. At 9, I have Jordan Love. At 8, I have probably the Rookie of the Year, Jayden Daniels. At number 7, I have Sam Darnold. Has had an impressive year. At number 6, I have Baker Mayfield. At number 5, I got Joe Burrow. 4, I got Jalen Hurts. 3, I got Jared Goff. Jared Goff is someone who's blossomed a lot this year with the Lions. Number 2 and 1. It's either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. It really could be either or. It's basically both of them competing for the MVP, but I'm going to go Josh Allen with number 1. I just think he's the better quarterback currently overall.
All right, now on to my top 10. Number 10, I have Jordan Love. 9, C.J. Stroud. 8 is going to be Kyler Murray. 7, Justin Herbert. 6, Jalen Hurts. And now we're getting some, more on the QBs on the better side here in the top 5. We have 5, Jared Goff. I think he's done really well with the Lions this year. That team has performed quite well, and they're looking like some real playoff contenders there. I believe looking towards the Super Bowl, their appearance. And then 4 is Joe Burrow. 3, I still have Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, those games were all one-score games and maybe some interesting calls, but you still have to get your team there. You still need a quarterback to get those one-score games, to get that a little bit of an extra points just to come out on top. Despite them being one-score games and we may not like them, they're still wins in the end. 2, Lamar Jackson, and 1, Josh Allen.
All right, so a question I have for both of you, and I'll answer this as well. What is the best NFL game this season so far, and why? Phillip, would you like to start off?
So it's actually one of those recent games of the Lions, Bills. The Bills came out on top 48-42, an incredible win. All they need to do, Bills need to do is work on that defense. They let up so many points, I think 44 to the Rams. But Josh Allen, I think that basically sealed the MVP for him if he just keeps continuing like that. So I think the best game so far was Lions-Bills. Bills coming out on top 48-42. What about you, Brandon?
All right, I got the Cowboys and Giants Thanksgiving game. Yes, this wasn't a crazy game with insane amount of spectacular plays, but personally, I just enjoyed watching it. It was great to see the Cowboys get a win on Thanksgiving, which is what I look forward to every year. At the very least. Benny?
And I'm going to say a game that probably most have forgotten about. It was back in week 5 of this season. It was the Ravens took on the Bengals, and that game went into overtime, tied at 35. It was an exciting game throughout. Bengals took a 38-35 lead in overtime, and then Derrick Henry ran for the game-winning touchdown in overtime, and the Ravens won 41-38. And I think that was the best game this season so far.
All right, so next up we have some MLB offseason news, mostly surrounding the Yankees. So far we have Max Fried and Cody Bellinger to the Yankees, and we have Yankees meeting with Roki Sasaki. They have landed a meeting with him, one of the first teams to do so. And now a little bit of a question here is who's going to play first base for the Yankees? If you ask me, I think the Yankees should play Ben Rice at first. I think he's young. I think the talent's there. It just needs to come out of him, and I think he should be able to do that within the next year or so. And then I think having Anthony Rizzo on the bench and available whenever needed is good, as his hitting was pretty good in the offseason, despite how he was still having some injury pain. And lastly, moving away from the Yankees, we have Kyle Tucker to the Chicago Cubs.
All right, so now some other sport news. So let's get started off with the NBA and your 2024 in-season tournament champions. It was a close battle between the Bucks and the Thunder, but the Bucks wound up taking that one and Giannis winning the MVP. So the Bucks joined the Lakers as the second ever team to win the in-season tournament in the NBA. Now, onto NFL, there was a lot of injuries last week, including Mahomes, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt in the NFL, but here's some playoff stats of who's clinched the playoffs and who's still fighting to get in the playoffs. So far, it's the Bills, Chiefs, and Texans who have clinched their division in the AFC. In the NFC, no teams have yet clinched their division, but 4 teams have clinched playoff spots in the NFC. The Lions, Vikings, Eagles, and the Steelers, part of the AFC, they have all clinched playoff spots. So the first 3 teams, incredible, as they're all 12-2, very impressive seasons by them. And then in the hunt for the AFC are the Broncos, currently sitting at 9-6, the Ravens currently sitting at 9-5, Chargers currently sitting at 9-6, and we also have the Colts, Dolphins, and Bengals to keep an eye out for. I think the Bengals are especially a dark horse to keep an eye out for. And then in the hunt in the NFC, we have the Buccaneers sitting at 8-6. I think it's likely they will make it. The Rams sitting at 8-6. We have the Packers probably going to make it, sitting at 10-4. An impressive NFC North this season. And then we have the Commanders sitting at 9-5. Seahawks at 8-6. Falcons at 7-7. We have the Cardinals, 49ers, Cowboys, and Saints also still in the playoff hunt, though it's not likely they'll make it. Still in it. All right, so next up, since we are going into the holiday break, it's our NFL Week 18 predictions, and Phillip, would you like to get us started off?
Yeah, so I have one game for that week. I have the Bills beating the Patriots 35-17. I think they're looking for that one spot, and they might get it depending on how the Chiefs do, but I think the Bills are going to come out on top. What about you, Brandon?
I kind of went with an NFC East theme this week. So we have the Cowboys against the Commanders. I have the Commanders winning 38-20, and then the Giants versus the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning 35-16.
And then I have 2 games as well. I have the Vikings and the Lions taking on each other. Basically the battle for the number 1 seed in the playoffs, probably a Sunday night game. And I think it's going to be the Detroit Lions that take it in an overtime thriller to win 29-23. And the second Week 18 game, I have the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs probably sitting a lot of players. However, I still do see the Chiefs winning because they always find a way to win. And I think they get it done here, 21-20.
All right, so I'm predicting Eagles versus Giants. No offense to any Giants fans, I think that they've had pretty terrible seasons, so I'm going to predict Eagles 35-7, and then why not? I just do the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys gonna get 14 against the Commanders. Maybe Commanders get 21 and take that.
All right, so finally, I want to know from you guys, what is an NFL team that you think is a contender to win it all, and what is one NFL team that you think is a pretender? So basically, a contender is as good as the record shows, and then a pretender is not as good as their record shows. So I'll get started off. I think a contender playing as good as they really are the Detroit Lions. They have shown that they have just shown that they are really good at football, and yeah, I think they're a top contender. As you saw, I also predict them to win the Super Bowl. And a pretender, as much as I hate to say, and I love seeing Sam Darnold play and this great Vikings team, I just don't know if I could see them as an early playoff bounce. I just see them as a pretender there. So, yeah.
All right, so for a contender, I had to go with the Eagles. I mean, they have a great season. Their record's great, especially with the addition of Saquon. You know, they just have been really showing it. I think their record definitely shows how well they've been doing. And then Steelers, I think, are a pretender, especially based off that one game last week as of recording this. And, Eagles crushed the Steelers. I think Steelers, they have a good record, but I think they're the pretender.
All right. I agree with Benny here on the contender part. I have the Lions being a contender. As I said in my playoff prediction, I have them making it to the Super Bowl but losing to the Bills, which both teams that make it to the Super Bowl, win or loss, are great teams. And then my pretender is going to be the Eagles. I just don't think they're cut out for the playoffs this year. They are a great team, though.
So, as my contender, I'm obviously going to have the Bills. I'm obviously a Bills fan. I think they're a great team. Josh Allen is basically carrying this team on his back. And then for my pretender, to agree with Brandon, I have the Eagles. I think the only reason they're doing good right now is only because of Saquon Barkley. I think just his rushing upside is really good. I think he's an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. I think he is going to get it, but he's just a pretender. I think the only reason they're doing good is because Jalen Hurts rushing and Saquon Barkley. I don't really think you could stop that. So my contender is the Bills, and my pretender are the Eagles.
I'm here with
Henry Sposito,
Luke Valencia.
Harry Berleski.
John Seeger.
How do you feel you did today?
I feel like I left it all out there on the field. You know, I gave it my all, and just the passion and the heart pushed me through to get in the end zone twice today.
I feel like I had a great time with the boys. The last time I got to play with them was in 8th grade because I was on JV this year. But, yeah, just had to come down to help out the team.
I feel like I had a good game, you know. Played like a teammate, team sport, ultimate team sport for a reason.
It was a great game. All around, team played great. O-line blocked. QB was throwing. I know. It was a great game all around, and I feel like we all left it out there on the field.
Are there any challenges you had to overcome today?
I don't think there are any challenges because our coaches prepared us throughout the whole season to, get out there on the field and do what we do best, which is win.
I think the challenges I had to overcome was learning the plays because, like I said, I was on JV the whole season, so I didn't know any of the plays going in this.
Some challenges that we had to go overcome were, it was a really great team we played. Some big people, good heart, played well, team played well, coach prepared us well.
I feel like we had a lot of challenges with people being hurt, but our coaches prepared us since June. We've been out here grinding every day, so I think we've been good.
How does this victory mean to you?
This was the last game of the season, so this means a lot. I'm going to miss this team, especially Coach Graham. I miss you, Coach Graham. And just our teammates all around. Great family.
Yeah, I'm going to miss playing with my boys, especially Coach Graham, too. He's a great coach. I love him.
Means a lot, Way to end the season good on a good note. Thank you to my coaches. Love you guys all. And good season, boys.
Picking off where Harry just left off, it was our last game of the year, and I feel like it just means a lot to us because this is the last time we'll be together as a grade, and yeah, it was great.
Is there anything else you guys like to add?
I would like to add my brother Aiden here. He went through a lot of adversity with his collarbone, but he healed very fast, and can't wait to get back out there on the field with him.
I just want to say thank you to my coaches. It was a great year, and I love my coaches. Love the boys playing with them, and yeah, that's about it. And good luck to varsity.
The one thing I want to add is that I love playing with each and every single one of the people on this field. Coach Graham, love you. Coach Tommy Hanel, love you. Coach Tommy Albano, love you. One more thing, Elena, you're mad beautiful.
Thank you for interviewing with us today, and congrats.
I'm
on
here
the
with Austin Smith.
Christopher DiPolito.
How do you feel you did today?
I felt I played pretty well, you know. We played well, we had adversity, and we came back, you know.
As a team being down by 7, they ran the first quarter. So, as a team, I think we did very well. I definitely think I could have stepped up more physically, but we got the job done, and that's all that matters to me.
What does this victory mean to you?
It means a lot, you know. Mayapack, that's our rivals ever since youth. They get a little chatty, and, you know, it feels great to beat them.
Yeah, as Justin said, as a team, it felt very good. Beating them, they prepared for this game for multiple weeks, and just getting the job done meant the most to us and our coaches.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We both like to add 2, 3.
Woof, woof!
Thank you for taking this time to interview with us. Congrats on the win.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Thank you guys, anytime.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Alright, folks, so now I'm predicting the rest of the Houston Texans / the Strouds regular season schedule as of after week 15 going into week 16. This Saturday they take on the Chiefs. Without Mahomes, Texans actually may have a chance, but there's a chance that Mahomes may play, there's a chance that he may not. I think the Chiefs, however, will still win that one. Texans still not playing good enough football to beat the Chiefs. It will be a close game, but I think Chiefs win that one. So they fall to 9-5 there. Week 17 against the Ravens, I think they're going to lose that one. So now to 9-7 on the year. And week 18, they've already clinched the division as we speak currently. But I think they are going to win this game and win the AFC South at a final record of 10-7. Alright, folks, so now I'm going to predict the rest of the Denver Broncos regular season schedule for 2024. And week 16, the Broncos take on the Chargers Thursday Night Football. This game could go either way. The Chargers taking the first game out of the series for the season, and I think the Broncos have been playing great football led by Sean Payton are going to get it done and win. So they move to 10-5. They take on the Bengals week 17. I think they're going to lose that one. The Bengals make a late playoff push, as you may have seen in my prediction a few weeks ago. I think they lose there. And week 18 against the Chiefs. Chiefs probably sitting a lot of players. However, I think because it is the Chiefs, they're going to find a way to win. And I think the Broncos are going to end the season off at 10-7. And finally, I'm going to be predicting the rest of the Panthers' regular season schedule. So, week 16, they take on the Cardinals. This team, before last week, they were doing pretty good. Like, they were close against teams like the Chiefs and the Eagles. Like, they almost had a chance to win that, but blew it every time. And then last week against the Cowboys, it just wasn't even close. But week 16, they take on the Cardinals. I think this is where they break through. I think the Panthers are going to get it done against the Cardinals, who have been struggling as of late, and besides the win last week against the Patriots. Then week 17, they take on the Buccaneers. I think they're going to lose that one. But week 18 against the Falcons, Bryce Young is going to give the fans a preview of what to expect next season. I think it goes upward from there, but I think the Panthers dominate the Falcons in week 18, and I see them winning that one. So they're going to end the season off at 5-12. We are the Soma Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next year.
Mayapack now up by 10. Must win for the Tuskers currently.
Number 0 going up the court, going for the layup. It's good. Good layup.
Number 0 gets the basket there.
Trying to calm things down. Have a good play. Coordinate.
Spano almost lets it go, but able to recover the ball and gets the 2.
Spano drops the ball at first, but he's able to recover and get 2 points for Somers.